Madden Nation, Sgibs here for another exciting edition. It is not your den, it is not my den, but it is the Madden Den, a.k.a. The Laser Show, the internet's most passionate show, most passionate program about John Madden NFL 13 football, kicking off with a bang. Show 251, Ravens zone beating play, and the Ravens are going to need some help when it comes on the defensive side of the ball. If it's true that your boy Ed Reed has a torn shoulder labrum, do you really expect him to be making the plays that he's been so accustomed to making all year? I mean, I'm saying that as a Patriots fan, but you got Ray Lewis out for the year. Apparently T-Sizzle, locker room chatter this week, saying he might be coming back. But Ravens are hurting right now on the defensive side of the ball. It's sitting 5-1 playing the Texans this week. They could fall quickly. I do want to see Ray Lewis come back. I also got to recommend EA's putting out that pretty sweet, it's like a Ravens Ray Lewis Will He Return video. It's pretty cool. Check it out on their YouTube channel. Very cool. I watched it this morning. Kind of got me a little emotional, especially if you're a Ravens fan. It'll get you emotional as well. But that's something you should check out if you have the time after you watch today's show. But we're talking about a zone-beating formation today. And I've decided that for show 251, I'm actually gonna do it. I'm actually gonna do it once. I'm gonna do the zoom zoom zoom, zoom zoom zoom. And what we're gonna do for this show, just because it's Friday, show 251, attacking zone. Why don't we go retro? Why don't we go retro? Why don't we go retro? For all the people at home that are new to the show, they don't remember what it used to be like. This is what it used to be like. Oh, I messed that up. How come it's not retro now? Retro. What the heck? Camera 1. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I know what I did. I walked in front of the camera. That's why. That's funny. Okay. So this is retro Madden TV right here, boys and girls. Retro. This is retro. And back in the day, you didn't have all this fancy technology where I zoomed in. I had to zoom in on the screen to make it look nice. So we're going to take a look at the bunch weak formation to attack zone coverage. My favorite play in the game to actually attack zone coverage is close mesh. It can be found in a lot of playbooks, the gun bunch. I really love gun bunch this year. You can do a lot of good things out of it. So let's take a look at what I do. And give me a shout out for all you guys who have been watching for all these years now about the retro throwback show. Throwback show 251 going up. Oh, zoomy zoom. I'm going to make sure I keep bringing the zoomy zoom in because I won't necessarily use it all the time, but I feel like the fans at home, you guys like it. You like the retro feel of the old school zoomy zoom. So what we see here on the right side of the field, this is a compressed set, so it's tight. It's a formation in a formation. And what I like to do, just off the get-go, I like to just streak A. And that can be the only adjustment you make in that you're going to be able to flood zone coverage. And I want you to think about zone and the following. Now, I think a lot of people, they'll pick cover 3. Obviously, protect deep, protect short, protect the middle of the field. It's a standard zone, good zone. You really need to think about what you're doing when you're playing the game, guys. Really think about it. What I mean by that is look at the defense. Look where they're defending. So you see there's a flat zone defender. So that means this defender is going to go and protect this part of the field, right, in this short flat, right? Then you have a deep zone defender. That means this defender is going to protect the deep part of the field. Then you have a yellow hook zone defender, which means he's kind of a wild card. He's going to defend anything that comes in his area, right about in this area. So as you see the zone, like let me do this. Let me get rid of everyone else. I just want to show you one side of the field, right? Let's move everyone out of the way. I want you to visually understand what I'm talking about and how we attack zone coverage, because I think a lot of guys might not get it. So visually, look at the field, right? You see that there's 3 zone defenders covering the right side of the field. You have one dropping deep, one on the short yellow, and one on the flat zone. So when we attack a zone coverage, you got to remember how they work. We want to send one flat route, so you see Dennis Pittibread running to the flat. And then with the hot route to A, we're sending a deep vertical route where the deep safety is going to cover. And then what the defense doesn't have in this zone is they don't have a deep corner zone. So that's why we have a deep corner route. So in theory, we have a Dennis Pittibread going, and he'll be occupied by that flat defender. Then we have Jones running the A route, the vertical. He should be defended by the deep blue on the right. And then you have B, who's running the deep corner, where that hook zone is coming into play. And you can see how that deep corner area in the field doesn't have anyone covering it. So that would mean to me, by this route combination, we would flood this zone coverage. There's 3 defenders, but the 3 defenders aren't defending it properly. Well, what would happen? Let's snap the ball and see what happens. Snap, go. As you can see, what was open? The corner. So we'll simplify it a little bit, guys. Zone coverage is all about flooding areas on the field. You want to send more route combinations on a certain part of the field than there are defenders. So another nice one is what we have over the middle of the field with A and X. So you can see the zone defense has 2 yellow zones to protect the middle of the field. They can't defend both these routes as they cross over. So see how the A and X route work off each other. They work in conjunction with each other. So watch as this route develops. So as Torrey Smith breaks over the middle of the field, Ray Lewis sees him, and he's ready for him. And then as Jacoby Jones breaks over the middle of the field, he is defended by that guy. Ray Lewis now sees, oh, Jacoby Jones is coming over the middle of the field. I better jump on that. Uh-oh, Torrey Smith is there. And now you see how they pass off, and you see how that route combination works over the middle of the field. So now we have another way to attack zone coverage right there. You're forcing the defender to make a move on that double crossing pattern, the mesh concept. You're saying, hey, you make a read. Now, Ray Lewis, if he had dropped off, so Ray Lewis, you actually see my finger here. This was what was nice about old school Madden TV. I could show you visually. So if Ray Lewis dropped from here to, like, say here to defend this guy, that's what you'd want the zone defender to do. He should have switched off, but he made a bad read there. Now, this isn't always going to happen. You're not going to get the same result every time, especially if your opponent moves defenders. That's not Ray Lewis, it's McLean. I'm sorry. So say if your defender moved a guy, now you're going to get a different result. Now A, look at that. Now A is defended by that linebacker. So you need to think about what you're doing on an every down basis of where you're looking to attack zone coverage. And remember, you're attacking the zone coverage by thirds on the field, on the left half, right half, in the middle of the field. That's how you want to think about attacking zone coverage. So our base setup, though, would be the following. Now, you see what I did there with this route. I like to streak A, because I know I have that route combination with the flat, corner, and the streak. Now, if that yellow zone drops off to that corner pattern like it did there, which it might sometimes, see how he's dropping off to defend Bolden there? I don't know if I want to throw that because he might make a play on that ball. But what I'm also doing is, on the backside, I'm throwing in another route to occupy that space where that hook zone should be. So if the hook zone doesn't drop off to the corner route, I'll throw the corner route. If the hook zone drops off to the corner route, I will throw this incoming drag pattern. So you see how this route combination is working to attack zone coverage. You can use this same route combination against any zone, and it will work. And what I mean by that is, watch this. If I run a cover 2, here's the following, cover 2. Let's see what happens. Let's see who opens up. There it is again. You see that the incoming drag occupied that space. Oops, sorry. Go back, cover 2 zone. Here it is again. Cover 2 zone. I forced that, but I wanted to show that for a reason. That hook zone, if that hook zone drops off to the corner, you can't make this throw. You have to make a read. You have to see what's happening. See how the flat is occupied. The flat defender is occupying the flat receiver. The hook zone's going to the corner. The vertical route, I could probably sneak that in, but is defended by the deep route. And then I make sure I have another route coming into that area where there's not any other defenders to defend that. There literally isn't. So then you might, so what naturally you might be saying is, well, Gibbs, what if, I can't play offense and defense at the same time, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to man up McLean on Smith. So you always say, well, Gibbs, what happens if they take a user guy and then they defend that Smith route? Then the whole thing won't work, because look, now he's covered, and see, I still completed it, but that's the idea, is, well, what if they user that guy? Well, what I would tell you is that with this route combination, if they're in zone and they user that McLean route, let's pretend McLean is using the Smith route, what I'll tell you, if they're in zone, you're going to have someone open. See how with that route combination, I had that inside streak open. So again, if I was in this cover 3 and they user that Smith route, let's see what we got here. Here it goes, here it goes. I have that Jones route again. So you're seeing how this is all working off each other. And again, and if they did do something like that, they user that McLean, the Smith route, right? Oops. And I forgot how to man up. I literally have a brain fart. I can't remember how to down, X, down, X. There you go, X down. I'm sorry. I had a brain fart there. So say they didn't use that Smith route. That's fine. Then you have to be smart and kind of trick them the other way. So if they use the Smith route, fine, user it. Well, guess what? Now I'm going to dink down to my other route combination with the mesh. So it's really, the possibilities are really endless for what you could do from this formation to attack zone coverage. And that's why I like it so much. It doesn't matter what the zone coverage is. The biggest variable in all of this is what the user defender does. But against stock zone coverage, you're going to win this battle every time. So, I mean, here against the flat, against the cover 4, I should have that flat open, and you can see I picked up a couple yards. And if the flat defender drops down to pick up that route, guess who's going to be open? The corner route. So you're seeing how all this works off each other. So here now, okay, he's dropping there. I also have him to throw to or in the space. So you're seeing how the main focus, guys, though, of attacking zone coverage in this game, not just in this game, but in football in general, is to send more offensive receivers into a specific part of the field that the zone defenders can't operate. So, guys, that's show 251. Bring it back to zoomy zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Oops, other way. Zoom, zoom, zoom. So, guys, show 251. That's the zone beater. You and me together. We are changing the Madden community. We are doing it one snap at a time.